The immune system is the most complex biological system we know, second only to the human brain. And yet, what it even is. Our immune system has every day, it organizes hundreds with soldiers, captains, defense. It is not some abstract concept. Your immune system is so we're doing. Today, what happens when sudden injury occurs? Countless cells are ready to destroy the invaders. Or, that's what your cells experience. You look at your bleeding thumb, which you just cut on a sharp object. How annoying. But inside the wound, a catastrophe has unfolded. There are dead cells. Worse than that, bacteria have invaded the caves between your defenseless tissues to explore their new home, steal your resources, and poop everywhere. Immediately, the first responders arrive. The cells that survive the impact, or those that are wounded or dying, scream in panic, releasing signals. The first cells that appear are the macrophages. If a regular cell were a calm cell by nature, you wouldn't want to bother it. Bacteria are a threat. In seconds, the huge cells attack and begin the merciless killing. They stretch their parts like the arms of a giant and grab the bacteria. A macrophage can eat up to 100 bacteria before it gets exhausted. But there are many enemies, so in your blood, hundreds of thousands of neutrophils are on standby. Neutrophils are intense suicide bombers. They're so desperate for a kill that they sacrifice themselves, launching a wide and toxic net. Sometimes that's how they have fun. Killing. As the battle unfolds, you notice this as inflammation. Your thumb swells. The fluid brings a silent killer, a kind of automated liquid weapon that stuns and immobilizes. We made a whole video explaining this. If the bacteria are not eliminated, it means certain death for you, the human. This is when your immune system kicks into high gear. While your immune system was collecting samples, breaking down the bacteria, the dendritic cell leaves the battlefield, which connects all your tissues to your lymph nodes. The dendritic cell, coming from the battlefield, is like the commanding officer for the immune response. But not just any officer, it's a specialized one. So it circulates through your body. Most T cells are a bit disgusted by the sight of the battlefield. But after a few hours, some are activated. A helper T cell is born. This cell is crucial for the immune response. The dendritic cell glows with information. Okay, wait, how does your immune system know what to do? Well, your immune system has learned to recognize threats against the Black Plague. We'll talk more about this later. So for now, just know that you have T cells, each with a weapon to fight. Once the right T cell is activated, it rises like a teenager, very slowly. Their heavy artillery is incredibly effective, but not fast. The activated helper T cell starts cloning itself continuously. 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, until there are thousands of them. Now, they split into 2 groups. The first group moves quickly to help the soldiers. On the battlefield, things are spiraling out of control. A tired macrophage is ready to give up. After fighting for days, it just wants to sleep, like many of its comrades already have. But now the helper T cells arrive. One goes to the tired macrophage and whispers something using special chemical signals. In the blink of an eye, the demoralized soldier feels revitalized again. But there's more. An insane rage. The macrophage knows what it needs to do. Kill. Revitalized, it throws itself against the enemies once again. Across the battlefield, this starts to happen. Meanwhile, the second group of helper T cells is working on activating another line of defense. B cells, your antibody factories. Antibodies are super proteins that look like tiny crabs with 2 pincers to grab enemies. Just like the helper T cells, there are B cells in your body that are capable of producing the right antibodies for each possible enemy. And the helper T cell is looking for exactly those B cells. After a day or two, the right B cell is found and starts cloning itself. Once enough clones are made, each B cell begins pumping out up to 2,000 antibodies per second. About a week after you've been injured and the bacteria have invaded, your second line of defense finally arrives in full force. The tiny army starts to saturate the battlefield, pinching and stunning desperate bacteria. The antibodies bind them and render them immobile, while your soldiers massacre the defenseless victims. The tide is quickly turning. As the last enemies are eliminated, your soldiers realize they are no longer needed and begin to kill themselves to conserve resources. But not all of them. Some helper T cells remain and turn into memory cells. They will guard the tissue for years, making sure the same bacteria never settle here again. Similarly, some B cells will remain alive and continue producing a low amount of antibodies, making you immune to this bacteria, maybe for the rest of your life. One day you wake up and notice that the wound has healed, leaving nothing but a faint red mark. You were completely unaware of the drama your cells had to deal with. To you, the whole ordeal was a minor inconvenience. But to millions of cells, it was a desperate fight for life or death. But this is just the beginning of the epic story unfolding inside you every day, and it's told in full in Immune, A Journey into the Mysterious System That Keeps You Alive, written by Philipp Dettmer, founder and head writer at Kurzgesagt. The book is a deep, beautifully illustrated dive into the immune system, the most important thing you don't know enough about, that will forever change the way you think about your body. Written to be as simple and fun as possible, it's been an ongoing passion project for nearly a decade, because the immune system is practically the most amazing and fascinating topic there is. So, go on a journey and get to know your own body. From mysterious organs, armies of killers, to the largest bookstore in the universe. Explore how incredibly vast your immune system is and how it works, how it fights enemies from cancer to HIV, or just the flu. Learn how you can improve it and if that would be a good idea. The book will be published in 6 weeks. It would mean a lot to us and to Philip if you could pre-order it. Pre-ordering is very important in the book world, and looking at the games in contrast, we can ensure it will be finished and there will be no update on the first day. You'll find the link in the description. It's been a decade of a personal journey, and we'd love to know what you think.